Hello everyone. Already we have completed our module 4 and this is the last module we are going to study. That is the electrical power supply system. So what do you mean by the electrical power supply system? Try to give the basic introduction of the module. In this basic module, we will understand the generation, distribution, transmission and the utilization of electrical power. That is, in this module, we will understand the basics of the when the means already you guys understand that there are several long generating stations which is far away from our home. So that how the electrical power is being transmitted and distributed. That is how the electrical power is generated, then transmitted and distributed. And finally, we are going to use that electrical power in our home to use various electrical equipment such as light, fan, AC, etc. Now, for this electrical generation and distribution of power, we need to focus on the three-phase power. Try to understand up to this module 4, whatever we have studied, this is all related to your module, that is all related to your single phase. We have already studied the AC, single phase construction and single phase activity. Now we will study the three phase connection. Before study, just take a small idea between that phase. This phase word already we have studied in the module 2. So what do you understand is phase? Basically in that module we have studied phase is that specific angle when alternating current will crosses the zero axis. Here, we already understand that is the electrical power is a continuous power now. For the calculation purpose, we will be have some imaginary line. And when that imaginary line, that is zero axis, crosses the positive part of that wave, the positive part of the wave, when it will cross the zero point, that angle is known as the phase. That means when it is at zero, means it is the phase angle is zero. But when the starting of the positive cycle will be some far away angle, that angle will be also known as the phase. This definition of phase we have studied in the module 2, that is the AC part. But here phase means something different. In our electrical power supply system, the phase means that is the connection between the neutral and a single line. Whenever we are dealing with a low power activity, whenever we need to deal the low power activity, suppose the fan, light, whatever we are using in our home appliances, that is known as single phase. That means it's very easy to understand the distribution of load if a single wire is used. For the distribution of load, if a single wire is used, an additional load will occur if three wires are used, then the loads will be separated between them. This can be called as less power for single phase and more power for three phase. Like take the example, that is whenever we are dealing with the home appliances, we are having only a single line, single main line, and another is a return path, which is neutral line. Okay, one main line, another neutral line. So this constructs the single phase. But when the power requirement is high, when the load requirement is high, means we need more amount of current, more amount of voltage, then in place of a single wire, we need to use three wire or four wire system. Try to understand. For the more high requirement, rather for the more requirement of electrical power, we need to use three wires or four wire system, which is known as three-phase system. Clear? Now, in the second module, we have studied that is a single phase system will have the 0 point crossing, a single line. In every cycle, a single phase system voltage achieves a peak value two times as direct power is not possible. Clear? Now, try to understand a load with single phase can be power driven from the three-phase shearing transformer in two techniques. Now, try to understand the basic concept. That is, in our locality, we will be using the single phase, but the whole locality needs more amount of power. The whole locality, so the total power consumed by your locality will be very high. That's why it is a three-phase connection comes to our locality. From that three-phase connection, we used to collect the electrical supply. We will, from the three-phase supply, we used to take the single-phase supply. Clear? Now, so there are mainly two techniques. So three-phase or means the three-phase will have either three-wire or four-wire. So one is the connection between two phases or with connection among one phase and neutral. So when we will be collecting, when we are having three-wire system, we need to take two-wire. When we are having four-wire system, we need to take one main line and another is a neutral line. Clear? So try to understand, for the three-phase connection, there are two ways. Either it will be three-wire or it will be four-wire. When it will be three-wire, means two main line we need to take. When it is a four-wire, means one main line and another one will be the neutral common point we need to take for the single phase connection. So these will give dissimilar voltages from the given power supply. This type of phase supply provides up to 230 volts. The applications of this supply mainly use the running the small home appliances like air conditioners, fan, heater, etc. Okay. Now, the three-phase power supply mainly try to understand the three-phase power supply. The three-phase power supply includes three or four wires, such as one neutral as well as three conductors. The three-phase power supply includes three or four wires. When if we are having three wires, means all three wires are the main line. But when we are four wires, such as one neutral and three main supply conductors. The three conductors are away from phase and space by 120 degree. This 120 has a very good significance. This 120 degree has a very important significance. Now, try to understand, for a single phase supply, it will be vary from 0 to 360 degree, that is 0 to 2 pi. Now, this 0 to 2 pi will be divided by three phases, that is the whole power drive for a full length cycle will be carried by the other total three lines. That's why this 360 degree is divided by 3. This 360 degree is being divided by 3. So the phase difference, between each line will be 120 degree. Here, the phase difference between phase 1 and 2 is 120 degree, 2 and 3 is 120 degree, and similarly, phase 1 and 3 is 120 degree apart. Here, this supply is constant and not at all totally falls to 0. The power of this system can be illustrated in two configurations, namely star connection and delta connection. Another important part, that is the total power supplied by is there are the three-phase connections having mainly two type of connection, that is star connection and delta connection. Okay, this connection is star configuration used in long distance communication, and it includes neutral cable to the error current. Okay, this is a waveform of three phase. I hope you understand. Now the next part is star and delta connection. Very important. And you can get the short note on star and delta connection. So try to understand when you will be having the star connection and when you will be having some delta connection. The very basic thing for the three-phase connection, when you will have four-wire system. For the three-phase connection, when you will have four-wire system, that is a star connection. And when you will have three-wire system, that is a delta connection. Here, for the three-phase system, when you will have four-wire, means that is a star connection. When you will have three-wire, that is a delta connection. Now, how these star and delta connections can be made? So, you can note down when for the single phase supply. For a single phase supply, you can imagine you can have a single conductor, and the single conductor will have a two terminals. Okay. If you mention those terminals as a starting point and the ending point. Now, if you connect, if you short all the three similar terminals, if you short all the three similar terminals, then it can have star connection. Means if you connect either the starting point or the ending points together, you can have a star connection. But when you need to connect the opposite lines, means the starting point will be connecting with the ending. Here, the starting point will be connecting with the ending. Then it will form a triangle, and which is known as delta connection. Here, the basic concept, that is the basic thing. The similar terminals will be added for the star. The dissimilar terminals will be added for the delta. And when you will short all the three similar terminals, then you can have the neutral line. When you will short all the three terminals, you can have the neutral line. Here, theoretically, the star connection have a neutral point which should be at zero potential. In the star connection, the neutral point should be at zero potential. Okay. Now, this is the okay. Now we will discuss the star and delta connection in details in the next video.